It is said a strong woman is a woman determined to do something others are determined should not be done. The women we honor today reflect that resolve and purpose to move forward, challenging what others might see as obstacles. Their stories are varied, as are all of ours, and we believe illustrate the positive contribution of Grand Rapids Community College to their life successes. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Gilda Gely, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs here at GRCC. And Dr. Gely will introduce our award recipients today.
Thank you, Chris. Welcome to Salute to Women Honors Reception. This special day is designed to honor and to celebrate the amazing women in this college. This award honors all GRCC women, past and present. Today, 4 women are specifically chosen who have achieved excellence personally and professionally as representative of the distinction and quality of all the women of Grand Rapids Community College. It is said that the goal of education is to create people who are capable of doing new things, not simply by repeating what other generations have done. People who are creative, inventive, and therefore courageous. Today, we will meet and honor a small group of women who understand education to be just that, a way to improve the world and move each generation forward, a task that often takes courage. I am pleased to introduce them to you today. Receiving the current Employee Salute to Women Award, Professor Nancy Forrest. Would you join us, Nancy? Contrary to some popular thought, the essence of math is not to make simple things complicated, but rather to make complicated things easier. Nancy's work has always been centered on the concept that education, particularly math education, should be open to all, accessible, and she hopes not burdened by math avoidance or fraction fear. She says, I have a desire that my students feel that I care about them and that I want to know them. I want them to leave my class with some self-confidence and a new affinity for numbers. Nancy remains as pumped up as she was when she first began teaching. She is enjoying the unique aspects of online teaching. She finds the students responsive and the medium challenging, allowing a new approach to both teaching and learning. A great sense of humor is also a Nancy Forrest trademark. She has never been reluctant to don a costume or take on a curious persona to entertain her colleagues at year-end events. You should see the videos. As you see from her biography printed within today's program, she's likely just now recovering from the cool and rowdy celebration recently held for Pi Day, March 14. Congratulations to Nancy Forrest, a woman of accomplishment and humor.
Thank you. They told us we had a few minutes to say something, and you might have thought I was just up here with a designer bag. Well, it is a designer bag, and if you like it, I can introduce you to who designed it, as a matter of fact. But I figured I needed to bring some visual aids with me to help me today, okay? And they didn't even tell us what we had to talk about. What freedom is that? Mostly then today, I thought, well, I may never have another public opportunity like this to give out a lot of thank yous. And that's actually serious. You might think that's going to be a punchline, but that's actually serious. But don't get me wrong, I'm not retiring. So, you start to sound like that. It might seem like you're saying goodbye, and I'm not. But one thing that happened is I don't normally like to get my portrait taken, and for this, they had to have that done. The photographer is a magician, shaves decades off of you. So I thought, if I'm having a bad hair day, or I have a blemish, or just dark under the eyes, here's my plan. I figure I can just whip that out whenever I need it. And all will be good, right? I do have to cut little eye holes out yet. So that's the only reason that it's still in the folder, right, as we go to. As far as thank yous go, first I want to thank all my colleagues at the college for what you do. And I'm talking about faculty, all the hardworking office professionals, to administration, to the facilities people that keep this place looking wonderful and clean and inviting, the people behind the scenes that usually don't have an opportunity for us to voice our thanks to you. It's as a team that we make this college, and this college is a great place to not only teach, but it is a great place to learn. And I just thank all of you for those efforts, and want you to know that you are appreciated. There's not another college in Michigan, don't strike that. There's not another college in the universe that I would rather be a part of, okay? And then next, I'd like to thank my math children. I do describe myself when we're in class. I tell them I'm their math mom, and they're my math kids, and I will care about them. If I nag them, it's because I care about them. But I want to thank them for making every day, as we share the class together, a pleasure and a privilege to have that time with them. We have the best individuals. Also, thank you to whoever picks out the nicest people and puts them in my classes. And our students come into a classroom. Normally, they are strangers one to another. They get to know each other. They help each other. They support each other. And they lift each other up. And it is just marvelous to see that happen in one of the many roles of being a community college, where people really can get to know each other. So thank you to all the students and the wonderful job that you do. And then I have some of my family with me today to tell you, of course, a lot of what I am is from my parents, who are no longer living. And while they were living, luckily I had opportunities many times to thank them for the wonderful people that they are. I have a brother and sister who both live out of state, who had a large impact on who I am, positive impact, I might want to add. And they gave me their best wishes and couldn't be here. Now, I do have a brother and a sister who are both here, and I won't make you stand up long. Tom, would you please stand up? Tom Hendershot, my oldest brother, just stand up and sit down, okay? I'm the youngest of 5 children, and I had and have the best brothers and sisters also in the world. I happen to have. Now, those of you who know me know I love sports. My brother Tom bought me my first full-size baseball mitt, okay? And by the way, he's also the one who taught me, if you can get your glove on it, you should catch that ball. Well, not very many of them get past me, I'll tell you, all right? And just an example of the generosity, but by the way, not only taught me about sports. I know I don't have the time to tell you everything about him, but he is the epitome of lifelong learning. And Tom, I thank you for all that you've always been to me in my life, okay? My sister Holly is here along with her son Brett. If you two would stand up for a minute and have a seat. Okay? So rather than make them stay there, Okay, thank you. First, I want to thank her for having, even though she's older than me, she's almost always been shorter than me. So everybody thought she was the baby of the family, which I didn't want to be portrayed. I have a book, The Secret Garden, in my hand, just to represent the fact that she started school 2 years ahead of me, okay, being older. She would come home every day and teach me what she learned at school. So the beginning of my academic foundation, and that is, with that, I was able to read before I went to kindergarten, et cetera. So she kind of got me started there. All my family and brothers and sisters helped me a lot with the joy of learning, except they never were any help with mathematics. Okay, with that, I was on my own. Okay, and they were readily, that was the one subject I was on my own. Okay, and so for many different ways, Holly, and I thank you for all the part that you've been of my life. And she has 2 other wonderful boys and her husband who can't be here today, wonderful people. And thank you, Brett, for taking the time to come. All right, and then last but not least, I want to thank my children, the most incredible people I have ever met. Okay, my son Adam couldn't be here today. He gave me his best wishes. He and his fiance both weren't able to get off of work today. And he has been, continues to be a great inspiration to me and is a wonderful young man. And my oldest daughter, Beth, is here today. Beth, would you stand up? And her fiance, Josh, would you stand up? Okay. And by the way, all 3 of my children did attend this college. Okay, to go through it, I want to mention that. And by the way, if you're wondering, Beth designed this bag and sewed that. So she's right there if you need to talk to her after. Beth, I want to tell you how special you are, okay? And for all 3 of my children, I couldn't be more proud, okay? Not to just of the individuals that you are, but to be your mom and know that the people that you are. Thank you so much, okay? And my youngest daughter, Allison, if you would stand up, please. And her fiance, yes, 3 weddings yet this year. And of course, her fiance, Chase, if you would. Okay. Also, Allison, I want to tell you how very proud I am of you. And you'll never know how important you all are to me and the individuals and the wonderful people that you've become. And they are smart. They are roll on the floor funny. Okay? They are talented. They are compassionate. And I'm not making any of that up. Okay? I'm not just a proud mom. That's just plain old the truth. Okay? And so I wanted you to know how very proud I am and thankful for all that you do. And for everyone who's here today, thank you for taking the time out of your busy lives. And it's a very special time to have an award like this and have somebody acknowledge things that you're doing. And I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy. Selected to receive the Salute to Women Alumna Award, Jane Doyle. Jane, would you join us? She can come up this way. Let me just read some words from you, for you. Let me just do some words before you speak. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there's no path and leave a trail." Jane has done just that. As Jane sat in a GRCC architectural drawing class in 1940, she learned of an opportunity to obtain her pilot's license through a new government program. This was not her first venture into what was not conventional for the time. In high school, she and a friend were the first females to join the marching band. They had to wear skirts for 2 years before they were allowed to wear the pants that were part of the official uniform. If you have not done so already, read the biography in your programs of Jane's life as woman in Air Force service pilot. Jane Doyle and other brave women became an important part of the war effort. Without benefit of military designation, no gold star in the windows of their family homes, and no insurance. And yet, 25,000 women applied to the program with 1,830 being accepted, and just over 1,000 completing the training. Jane recalls that they flew every type of military plane, often in response to male pilots' concerns about the fitness and condition of the aircraft. We're so proud that GRCC, then JC, played a role in this remarkable woman's story. Congratulations, Miss Jane Doyle, a woman of strength and bravery.
I really don't deserve all that because I wasn't a hero. I was just doing something I loved to do, and I was serving my country at the same time. That's it. I'm honored to receive this award, not only for myself, but for all the WASP. And when I say the word WASP, you think of an insect that has a nasty stinger. But there are also the WASPs that we made our mark on the history of women in aviation. And the pilots and the women in the Air Force today, they call us the pioneers. When I thought of myself as a pioneer, I thought, oh, I don't know about that, because pioneers to me were the old covered wagon days. But now we're called the pioneers because we led the way for the women that are in the service today. And the WASP flew the 60 million miles, and every plane that the Air Force had at that time, and yet we were hired as civilians. We trained under the military. We were under military orders, but we never received military status. And so it wasn't until the first graduate of the Air Force Academy got publicity in the paper that the WASP finally got together and started a campaign to get our veteran status. And it was 35 years later that President Carter signed the bill that made us veterans. And so now we have our veterans benefits. But as I say, we were doing what we loved to do at that time, and we were of service to our country too. And there were 38 women that did give their lives. And so this is an honor for them also. And I want to thank the college, because if it hadn't been for my being a student here at community college, which was then we called Junior on the Hill, I wouldn't be here. It was the summer of 1940, or the spring of 1940, that I was in an engineering drawing class, and it was all male students, but I was going to go on to architecture, and so I was taking engineering drawing, and the instructor came in and announced that there was going to be a civilian pilot training program. It was a government-sponsored program to train pilots because the war was escalating in Europe, and they knew that there was going to be a need for pilots in the United States. We only had probably about 1,000 pilots in the Army Air Corps, the Air Corps was under the Army at that time, and Europe had about 10,000, or Germany had about 10,000. So the United States decided they should start a program to train pilots, and they would let one woman in for each 9 men. And that program was to be here at the college that summer. And junior college was one of the few colleges and universities in the country that was offering this program. So when I heard about it, I thought, there's my opportunity to take off and go flying, because I had always been interested in airplanes, but I had never thought that I'd be a pilot. So I took the course that summer, and it was really because I had that training and received my private pilot license that summer that I was accepted into the WASP. As she said, that there were 28,000 that applied for the WASP, and 1,800 were accepted. And it was because I had my private license that I had gotten that summer here at junior college that I was one of the first ones to be accepted into the program. And from there on, when I graduated, I was sent to an advanced twin engine school in Seymour, Indiana. And I was a test pilot for the maintenance. I worked out of engineering maintenance there at the air base, and took the planes up for test flights and then administrative flights if they needed equipment or materials from some other base. And so it was just because of my starting out here at junior college that I had this opportunity, and it sort of changed my whole life. And I'm real proud that I was part of that service. And I want everybody to know now that when you hear the word WASP, that we aren't really an insect. We're a person that we're Women's Air Force Service pilots. So it was a pleasure to receive this honor, and I thank you very much. And I have my family here too, but they said don't have us stand up. So, but I do want my sister here is here from Lansing today, and she was one that I was tagged along with when I was little, and so I want her to be recognized. And then my three daughters are here and my two grandsons and many friends. I have my Brit group and my quilting group and my art group. I keep busy, so I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jane. Tonja Lofton is the recipient of the GRCC Student Award. Tonja, would you join us? There is a quote that reads, "The flower that blooms in adversity is the rarest and most beautiful of all." Tonja's courage as she confronted what she calls my second chance at life fits that image perfectly. Following a debilitating health condition, Tonja faced with what many people would see as overwhelming odds. Tonja chose to move forward, chose to change her present and exert control over her future. Not so long ago, she hoped just to recover her reading and writing skills, struggling to form complete sentences. Now today, she is a graduate of GRCC and a soon-to-be graduate of Ferry State University. Tonja took advantage of the dual enrollment option. For many, these educational challenges would be enough, but not for Tonja. Oh no, she also added community and college service to her personal obligations. She is the current president of the GRCC Student Congress and is a consummate volunteer, truly active and visible at countless college events and programs. Tonja consistently maintains a calm, thoughtful demeanor, exhibiting unfailing respect, patience, and kindness. Tonja, please accept this award and our best wishes. Tonja Lofton, a woman of resolution and courage.
Hello, It is truly an honor to see all my friends, family, coworkers here to support me. Thank you so much. To be standing up here as one of GRCC's Salute to Women candidates, to be ranked with women who show exceptional leadership, past and present. I would like to thank the nominators who nominated me. I would like to thank the committee who made the final decision. I would like to say thank you to my advisor, Eric Mullen. I don't know where he is. I assume he's here. I saw him. Hi. Who has been my advisor of Student Congress since 2008. Although he may not have seen me as a leader during my earlier years, Eric never gave up on me. And I'd like to say thank you, Eric. Many of you probably find it hard to believe that at one point in my career here, I was a very shy and introverted individual. I was not the best public speaker, and that leads me to thank my mentor, Tina Hoxie. Thank you, Tina, who guided me and molded a leader. Through attending many leadership conferences and participating in many clubs and organizations, I climbed the leadership rank. There are so many staff and faculty members here that I'd like to say thank you to, but it would take probably the rest of the day. Most of you probably already read the collegiate and know a little bit about my story and the challenges that I overcame. I would not be standing up here if it was not for my family. My dad, Denny, who's sitting up there, my sister, Lindsay, my nephew, Little Henry, my mom, and there's so many other. If you guys saw the photos, I'm the oldest of 8, and most of them are married. So we have a huge family. My grandma, who was gonna come, but she was unable. I'd like to give a special thanks to her also. I owe my moral and love that I show consistently to my family. Mom, Dad, thank you for loving me. To my sister, Lindsay, thank you for loving me. Particularly to my best friend and sister, Joy, my brother, Micah, nephew, Isaiah, niece, Melina, niece, Eden, nephew, Ruben, and newest nephew, Gabriel. I only wish that they could be here to celebrate my honor with me, but I know that right now, at this very moment, Joy is probably drinking tea and knitting while my nephews are napping. Yearning to be here to support me, along with my other siblings. That is why we have a bond that will never be broken. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the student body, which is the reason why I'm up here receiving this award. I have put many hours and shed many tears, but at the end of the day, I would not have given up my time spent serving, helping, leading them for all the money in the world. Thank you guys so much for being here and supporting me. My passion lies with being a leader, a mentor, a friend to my peers. I would like to say thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your president of Student Congress. Thank you.
Thank you, Tonja. It is wonderful to welcome back to campus Julie Johnson. Julie is being honored with the Salute to Women Former Employee Award. Julie retired in 1996 from GRCC, her final title being Dean of Enrollment Management and Registrar. Today, Julie continues to influence and encourage GRCC students through her Julie Johnson Scholarship, awarded to part-time students 40 years or older. Clearly, a central tenet of Julie's work is helping people become self-sufficient, whether through her years at GRCC or her efforts at dwelling place of Grand Rapids. When asked, Julie would not see her dedication to service as unusual. In fact, she would insist that she is so lucky to have had so many opportunities to do everything she wanted to do. As one of the recipients of Julie's scholarships remarked, Julie has offered personal motivation to me and demonstrated a real interest in me, and not everyone is that encouraging to older students. Julie is someone who thrives on solving problems and being a catalyst for positive change. Julie, congratulations and thank you for all that you have given to Grand Rapids Community College and to the college family. Julie Johnson, a woman of compassion and contribution.
Well, I don't know how to end this after hearing some of the feats that all of these other women have accomplished. I'm very humbled and I'm honored today. Thank you all so much for sharing this special occasion. It's hard to believe I've been in the professional workplace since 1963. Don't try to do the math because Nancy's already done it. It's 49, Nancy. Growing up was difficult, even though I didn't realize it at the time. I attended 12 different K-12 schools in many cities, welfare, poverty. I didn't know that either. And I was the first to graduate in high school on my mother's side and only the second on my father's. I skipped third grade and graduated 2 months after my 17th birthday. I think they just lost track of me for third grade. My biological father was killed by a kamikaze pilot in World War II, and I know you know what that was, and is buried in Arlington Cemetery. I mention that because the only way I was able to go to college is I went on the GI Bill. And in those years, you had to go see your professor every month and stand in line and get your attendance signed, or you could not continue to receive those dollars. Many jobs I had along the way included telephone operator, babysitter, house cleaner, paint factory worker, book company mailroom employee, Columbia Records in the mailbag room. I don't know if you ever belonged to the record club where you sent back the card. Those cards came in great big bags, and I had to work the third shift. And I would just get my one big bag done, and I could see over here, here's coming another big bag. So that was an interesting third shift job. I was an insurance company secretary. They asked me when I applied if I could type, and I said yes, and I didn't have a clue. After the birth of my first child, they actually hired me back as a stenographer. I wrote the letters and the vice president signed them. And when I say her name, Mrs. Lester Boatwright, you probably know this was in the South. I had no secretarial training, but I don't recommend this. Please take the training. I was an accounts payable person in an insurance office, an unsuccessful 2 weeks as a waitress. I lost my apron. I had a very large food bill. I spilt water on somebody. I served lemon pie instead of banana cream. And at the end of those 2 weeks, I actually owed the company about $3. I mention these experiences growing up in these jobs not as trivia, but because they were all great learning experiences. I want others to realize that growing up and all jobs have value, and one should do his or her best at anything they try. If you don't think you have an opportunity, make one up. Go out and grab it. Go out and find a person. It could be sitting on a bus. It could be in a restaurant. But you have to sometimes create that opportunity. It's not going to just knock on your door. You might be taking the trash out or something when opportunity knocked. I could name somebody in almost every one of these jobs. The people I met along this journey are part of who I am. In terms of education, that was a great journey and includes many wonderful, nurturing K-12 teachers. And I know many of you value K-12 teachers. I know I do. And remember, the community college was once K-14 in teaching. College professors are far too many to mention, but I know them all and I remember them all. Indiana State University with a BS in political science, history, and education. Valparaiso University with an MA in sociology and teaching and computers. And that's when the computer filled the whole room. And you had those little cards. I was very fortunate to have a full 2-year scholarship to Valparaiso. They selected 30 teachers from Northwest Indiana, 15 from there and 15 from Northeast Illinois. And we stayed together for 2 years, and that was just wonderful. Western Michigan University, completing specialist degree work in counseling and personnel. Just get the hook if my little closing now is too long and too emotional. My professional career, how many years, Nancy? 49. My professional career, I began as a teacher in Indiana for 10 enjoyable years. I still get very nostalgic when school begins in the fall and they have all those sales, you know. I just stock up on school supplies. And then I give those to Grand Rapids Public Schools teacher or classroom. My community college experience began at Kelloggsville Community College in Battle Creek. Again, a wonderful dean, Dr. Hans Andrews, who hired me as a counselor and a semi-administrator. He continues to be a supporter and mentor to me. I just lost one of my very important mentors, Jane Goodrow, who was a director of Olivet Community Education and did wonderful things, especially for women. She was a leader in her time, you know, to get those positions that she had. Then came my opportunities in Grand Rapids. Jean Enright, and I'm sure many of you know Jean, she was a director of the Business and Industry Program for Grand Rapids Public Schools. She hired me to work in the Business and Industry Program. 6 months later, C.J. Schroll with Dr. Calkins kind of tapped me on the shoulder to help run a new job training program at Leonard and Ball. And that was called the STIP program, Skill Training Improvement. And that was another great opportunity. Our job training goal was to increase the self-sufficiency of adult students. And we did that. And we did that by having very measurable goals. Believe it or not, measurable goals are not a new thing. You know, they've been around for years. It's just we use that different language, you know, and sometimes that gets confusing. But anyway, they were very good measurable goals. So thus, I was on my way to a 20-year career at GRCC. A couple other strong role models were Dr. Presh Olt and Dr. Ann Mulder, and I'm sure many of you know those folks. Geneva Hostler, and I don't know how many of you know Geneva Hostler. She was our token lady, and she died last month at age 97. Geneva really enhanced my student relationship skills because she actually lived that experience with the students. So many people here, you know, that actually did my work. You know, they let me think I was in charge, and that person knows who I'm talking about, who's here today. And then my public speaking skills, I think I have from Denny Sturdivant back there, which is why this is a little long, is the executive director of Dwelling Place now. Another strong mentor of mine, and she doesn't know I'm going to say this, is Jean Enright, or not Jean Enright, Jeannie Engelhardt. Their names are kind of close, but Jeannie Engelhardt, who is here today. I've learned a lot from her, and I value that friendship. I retired from Grand Rapids Community College as Dean of enrollment management, and the registrar. And I understand Diane Patrick has a new job in that position now, so we'll have to talk, Diane. Dwelling place. See, I'm continuing to work, and so fortunate to have those opportunities. I stayed retired 6 weeks and 3 days, and I knew I wanted to work, and I had met Denny Sturlevant while writing grants for the job training program. And I called him one day and I said, Denny, do you have a job? And he said, can you start today? I said, no, but I can start tomorrow. So, you know, there you have it, and I'm still there. That's been 16 and a half years. Dwelling place provides supportive housing to persons, and I believe we now have over 1,200 residents who live in supportive housing, mostly in Grand Rapids and mostly in the Hartside area, just a stone's throw from the community college. I wear a lot of hats at Dwelling Place, and I work with homeless, handicapped, elderly, youth, prostitutes, substance abusers, just anybody from a walk of life who's having a hard time right now. And it's been a very, very good job for me, and I love what I do. I learn about the human spirit every day. It's hard to function really on a day-to-day basis with my people, and at the same time try to plan for change with the powers that be. Education, housing, healthcare, and jobs are the answers, but how we get there really eludes me. There's no way I could name all my mentors and supporters. I remain humbled. I have a lot of people to thank along the way. So many people at the community college that just couldn't name them, but they all made me, you know, who I am today, which I'm pleased to get this honor for. My family is here. Certainly Nancy, I can't name them all. My husband Jim and I have 7 children, and we have 15 grandchildren, and we have 9 great-grandchildren. I know, that's a bunch, you know. I do have a son, Michael, here, who followed in my educational, you know, tracks, and he's a principal in the West Ottawa schools. And I have a daughter, Sharon, who's here, holding a very well-behaved 3-year-old great-granddaughter, and a granddaughter, Kristen, and my husband, Jim, who, believe it or not, we've been married 40 years, and I don't know how he does it, but he does it. We love them all, we're proud of them all, and so many friends have assisted me in this journey. I have to name one more person. I was only able to do all of this to get my degrees because of my grandmother. She worked nights as a cook, no air conditioning in those days, and watched my children during the day while I was able to continue my education. My journey continues with Dwelling Place. Continue your journey as long as you're able to. There's always something out there for you. If you don't know what it is, just think of something you want and make it happen. I awake each morning torn between a desire to save the world and a desire to savor the world. This makes it hard to plan my day. E.B. White. Thank you so much.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you. My name is Andy Bound, and my job is to wrap up the program today. I serve as Associate Vice President for College Advancement and the Executive Director of the GRCC Foundation. Each year, thanks to many terrific donors, many of whom are in this room, we award scholarships to deserving students. The Salute to Women Scholarship is awarded to women who have been out of high school at least 5 years, who have at least a 2.5 grade point average, and who have demonstrated some level of financial need. And it's thanks to faithful donors that we're able to award those scholarships. This year, we have a student who is studying in the RAD Tech program, who, when I hear this grade point average, I had dreams about this kind of a GPA, but she has completed 56 credits, which means she has almost attained her degree, and she has a 3.887. I had one of those numbers in my grade point average, and it wasn't the 3. The fund now sits at $33,000, and because of that, we award scholarships each year. So thank you. When you're leaving today, if you're so inclined, there are 2 envelopes sitting out there. One that goes to the Diversity Learning Center, and that supports the incredible programs that Chris and her team leads throughout the year. And there's another envelope if you want it to go straight to the foundation, and we'll make sure it goes right into the Salute the Women Scholarship Fund, unless you want to put it somewhere else. I also want to introduce you to 2 of our staff members over here, Trish Castiglione, who's our Director of Annual Giving, and, hey Trish, and Mary Reed. She is a new member of our staff, and she administers the donor relations side of scholarships. And she's been with us for about 8 months, 9 months, and there's a significant number in that 9 months because in 8 weeks, she's going off for 12 weeks to celebrate the birth of a beautiful baby. So, Mary, thank you for joining our team. What terrific honorees we've had today. 4 incredible women who have led and continue to lead incredible lives. I thank you for the work you've done in your families, in this institution, in our community, and across the globe, as this is a better place to live because of your work. So with that, ladies, congratulations. We'd like to invite you up at the end to have a picture taken, and with that, we're adjourned. Enjoy the day.